Well, hello and welcome to CirclemakersTV. I hope you're getting this, as we've had a lot of technical issues, which mean that we've changed around our system, and we're now operating on Windows 7, 64-bit, and the sound card stuff is just like a nightmare. So don't ask. So I can't hear what's going on, but I'm assuming you're not going to get too much of a problem with the audio lag this week, hopefully. So yes, we've got an interesting show for you today. We've got a CircleMaker here, and no, it's not me. It's another CircleMaker. We're not going to play that trick again. We're going to go straight across to him now, on the seat, and see who he is. So, CircleMaker, would you identify yourself?
Hello, my name's Dave.
Just Dave.
Dave, yeah.
Just Dave. This is Agent Dave, by the way.
Yes.
From last week. So Agent Dave had a fun time last week.
We'll see what happens this week, huh?
He was a bit drunk. He'd had a bit to drink, but we forgive him because that's what circle making is about, having a bit of a laugh.
Yes.
It's not so serious as people think. So what I'm trying to do now is see whether I get me up on screen with Mr. Dave. Nope. I go pressing buttons and eventually something will happen. Nope, that's not the one. Oh God, here we go. This is technical wonders. It's live broadcasting, and we're circle makers. We do make mistakes. But anyway, welcome, Dave. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your background in circle making, how you started?
Certainly, yeah. It happened back in '96 when I saw that there was these circles being formed in Wiltshire, and I plagued a friend of mine to actually take me down to Wiltshire to come and have a look at these things, and which we did, and I was completely blown away by the phenomena itself. Also the groups of people it attracted, and the fact that so many people were drawn to these things. And I really had a genuine interest as what was behind this, going in as a believer, because personally I didn't think it was at all possible to actually make a formation of such magnitude with such complexity, because when you go on the ground level you could see what's actually happening there, but then when you actually see the aerial shots of the circle, it becomes much more apparent that it's like, well, there's a lot more to it than just that. So it was back in '96, really. That's how I became involved in that and hooked on it, so to speak. Yeah.
Great. Well, yeah. I mean, I met you on the hillsides, I think, when we were sort of circle watching, and we were doing sky watches.
Yes.
And yeah, it was a nice time, wasn't it? It was a sort of a fluffy time when we were all kind of into the idea that there could be something else going on, but we weren't sure. And we kind of thought there might be some teams out there doing stuff, but we weren't exactly sure who was doing what. And we decided to sort of try our hand out at doing some stuff ourselves. So do you want to sort of have a chat about some of the early stuff you did?
Well, indeed, yes. I was invited by your good self and your mate to come along and help along on the crop circle. And initially, I have to say that when I went out there, I went there with total skepticism that this was not at all possible to make, bearing in mind the fact that we had this crude equipment that was with us. And then I was set to work, and then promptly my hand was shaking, saying, "Well done, you've just made your first stomp, you're now a circle maker." And again, I went away thinking the next day, I was absolutely knackered. And then thinking to myself, well, what's going to happen? And then when the aerial shots came in of that first circle we made, my jaw just dropped. I saw what was actually possible to make, the three of us in one night. So
excellent.
That was basically what happened.
Yeah. So did you sort of get any feedback from the researchers and the people that were entering the fields afterwards? What was the reaction to the stuff that you did?
Most certainly did. Yeah, the feedback varied from quite scientific approaches to the phenomena to the absolute ridiculous, which we all know. And of course, you have so many people talking about something that you've been involved in, you actually get quite buzzed up by it, and that led me to think, well, if this is possible, what else is possible, because it was I would say it was one of the more basic designs that we started off with, wasn't it?
Yes.
And then and it went on to bigger designs. And as I said, lots of people, without me telling them at the time, because at the time, back in the 90s, it was a general hush hush, as the circle makers were not allowed to actually. Well, it was a general considered amongst the circle makers that you wouldn't actually vocalize anything that you had made. So you keep it stum to yourself, and of course you would go to the bar gin and so-called pubs, and all the people would congregate there, and they would talk about your particular formations and talk about experiences they had in them. And that was the point where it literally, I thought, what the hell is going on here? What is going on here? It really did bring a question to my mind. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those times back then, I mean, they were the good old days, weren't they?
They were, certainly, yeah.
Magic times. And we weren't known as circle makers because we were just experimenting with stuff, and our identities were secret. We used to be able to sort of hang around in the pubs and chat to people as if we were just the normal researchers. And then it all changed. You know, we had a little revelation, and our names came out, and then we started to talk a little bit more about it. But the crop circles that we did, you know, would you like to sort of tell the viewers?
Yeah, certainly. I'd like to point out, if you could,
which ones you did early on.
could point out the first one I would like to point out is the Stingray, if possible.
Yeah. Okay, we'll bring that up in a second. So
yeah. Well, that one in particular, that was one of the first where I actually had some major feedback from the people going in there, researchers and just general tourists alike. It really was a bit of a revelation there, because it was, from what I remember of this particular one, it was a lot of it was actually made up, wasn't it? It's actually not on the whim.
Right, we've got a picture of it here.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so this is the one we think, the Stingray. Yes, yeah. And basically, this was a very off the cuff type affair, which was sort of added on. The tail was added on as a kind of oh well, what if we do the tail type of thing, wasn't it?
It was indeed, yeah. And it was I remember, yeah, it was all more like a, is this right? We went out the next day and we're thinking, what the hell have we created here? And then it's and you see, well, you know.
Okay, I understand our audio is a bit loud, so I'll just turn it down a little bit there. Hopefully that'll help. So yeah, we've got the inner design of this particular formation was created by Paul Damon, and he kind of had the idea for this sort of thing, and this was the same type of thing that was done inside the Queen, and the Queen was another formation which we'll talk about in a bit, but yeah. You know, the idea for that was basically a queen, but this one had a tail, and then it just becomes a sea creature then. So
I had many mixed reviews about this, but a lot of people were saying it looks like a teddy bear on a string.
Yeah,
and lots of like funny things that came about it, and other people had a more profound ideologies on it. You see, it goes to show you what an image would actually portray in someone's mind. So it was quite strange in itself. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, yes. So we go on to we've mentioned the Queen. Should we show the Queen?
Yeah, please do. Yeah,
bring that one up. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, let's have a look at the Queen. Okay, so this is a picture of the Queen formation.
Yeah, this is a personal favourite of mine. I've actually had this tattooed on my leg.
Should we have a quick look at that?
If you wish, yes.
Okay, hang on. We'll have to sort of get the camera going, but yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
you see it there.
Oh, hey, well, we don't have to move the camera because he brings his leg up into the camera shot, so that's even easier. There
you go. You can see everyone see it there. White socks as well, Brad. There you go. Okay.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Oh, we didn't have it up on the screen. Oh, right, we'll have to do that again.
We'll have to do it again,
right, okay, this is
slower.
Technical. We were all going, wow, that's great, isn't it? But then we have to press this button so that you can see Dave. There he is with the thing on his leg.
Nice.
Get so carried away because we got two preview. We got a window and the live output window, and we were all looking at the preview window, going, "Isn't the preview window wonderful? Nobody can see it, but we can." You've got to press the button. Okay, right. So yes, the Queen. That was an interesting night. That
It was a very interesting night.
Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, there was a lot of strange things that were happening that night. It was a long time ago now, obviously. This was in Lockridge. No, sorry, West Overton, I beg your pardon. And there was 3 of us involved in that, as I say. It was myself, you, and Paul. And I remember seeing some very strange lights, because if you look at this, it's actually on the bowl of a hill. And you look upwards, and there was some very strange lights going on. And there was all sorts of a very eerie feeling going on at that time when we did this, because if you look at this circle, you can't actually see it in the photograph. It's the backside of it is actually surrounded by woods,
Yes.
and it does actually create that sort of eerie feeling. But what happened subsequently to this is that the farmer was charging a fee to actually go into the circle, so which ironically we had to pay to go into our own circle the next day. And then there was many people that actually were given permission to actually sleep in this circle the night, the subsequent night. And many people were talking about this formation at the Barge Inn, saying that they saw some very strange, well, black triangles that flew overhead. And wasn't just one person, there was at least 20, 30 people that were in there from my recollection, that all said they saw this thing hover over them. Now, I didn't see it personally, but what do you make of that? This is actually part of the crop circle law, so to speak. So.
I mean, my recollection, I talk about this particular event myself quite a lot when I do lectures, because it was the night when we went in. It felt right. It just felt right, even though we knew there were researchers in that field. And we knew there were people in the field watching, and they were quite close. And we said, it feels right to do it. And it's like, but this is complete insanity, because we're working so close to these researchers. How the hell are they not going to see us? And so I left Paul and Dave, and walked up to the top of the field, went down through these researchers, found out that they were doing sky watching. They had a telescope set up on tripod legs, and I just walked through with my collar sort of up and went, evening, sky watching, are you? Yes. And he was like, oh, great. And I sort of went down, and I thought, well, from what I could see where I was, I can see that part of the field perfectly, so they can see us. So there's no way we could make this formation without being seen. But I went back to the lads and said, but it just feels right. I don't know why. It just feels right. It feels okay to do it. And they went, yeah, it does. And it was like, we were all sort of like, yeah, let's do this. This is great. And that, you think about it, it's the stupidest thing you could think to do. It's like, why don't we just commit a criminal act in front of people who are watching and are actually watching that part of the field right now? That's a really clever thing to do. But like I say, this sort of mist sort of came across my eyes, as it were, and sort of my judgment, and made us carry on. And subsequently, these people said that they didn't see us making the formation because a fog bank came down in that part of the field for that duration, and in the morning the fog lifted and there was the crop circle.
Indeed, I remember it well, and it was actually spoken about by several people at the Barge Inn that night, the following night. The people said that the researchers are up on the hill, and all of a sudden this fog descended. From my perspective, from what I remember, albeit I was tired, I don't remember any fog whatsoever in that place.
Yeah,
but there you go.
It wasn't. I could see them all night long. There was no fog as far as I was concerned.
Yeah. So
it's crazy, isn't it?
It's one of those things. Yeah, you can only take it on what the experience, the personal experience. So
yeah, I mean the trouble is people. You'd have to be there. You'd have to be there, and it's a circle maker thing. We talk about these strange experiences and compulsions to do certain things. This is one of the magical nights. This was a very mad night, and Dave was present at a very strange night again when something else happened. We'll talk about that a bit later on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
so have we got any other? We've got a question here from Crop Dolly. It says, do you know any meanings behind this formation?
Meanings behind which particular one is she referring
Must be
to?
the Queen.
Or I assume she's a three.
Paul kind of designed it, and we kind of felt it out, didn't we? We played with it.
I know. My recollection of the Queen was that it was not originally that design.
No.
that something went wrong on the actual marking out of it, and then we had to adjust it, and it somehow turned out like this. So it does look like there are eyes and everything else, but initially, from what I believe, was the sections where there's little bits that look like the eyes were actually all filled in. I think that we overstomped it at one point.
Right.
So it looks like it's done by design, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I've got a terrible memory problem. I mean, I really had terrible problems remembering that for some time, because I hadn't seen Dave for a few years, that he was actually there when we did this formation, because it's late at night and we had this sort of we go out and do it, and we do all these formations, and I forget everybody who's in these formations, and I offended Dave very badly, didn't I, by not remembering that you were there.
Yeah.
It just is such an important formation for Dave that Dave gave me a lot of grief over this, and said, "You were very naughty for forgetting." And I'm like, "Well, I forget everything. I'm really sorry." But right, we've got a question here. Was it? Do you think the meanings you were unaware that? Do you think that meanings you are unaware of are attributed to by designs by researchers? Do you think that meanings you are unaware of are attributed to your designs by researchers?
Do I think the meanings that we are unaware of are attributed by designers?
No.
I would have to say no.
No, the researchers.
The researchers. No.
Do the researchers give the meanings?
Ah.
You know, when you look on the crop circle connector and it says, "Oh, this is what it means."
Yeah.
No.
No. Did you put that in there?
No, I disagree. No.
Okay.
I think no. I think sometimes when the researchers actually start doing that sort of thing, I tend to switch off.
Yeah, sorry, we should just explain as well. We have actually in the studio, we've got Fanny and Bob from last week, and another friend. So they're actually there, and we give them a mic this time so that it won't be as dim audio. They can actually speak out.
Or as ranty.
Oh yes, as ranty. Man, let me do my snuff. Good stuff.
That's what they call it nowadays.
It is snuff. Then people, snuff. Yes. Okay. Right. They think I'm on drugs or something, but
no,
not tonight. It's too important. Right. So the general idea with this one was, as I seem to remember it, we went into the field and we had a pattern design, but as we went out and did the work, we were playing with other ideas. So the whole business about the crown, the bit at the top, like a peak, which has lots of little dots around it, that's what we call the crown. That was something that was just decided on the spur of the moment.
Spur of the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I believe I was left to do the donkey work down at the bottom, and yourself and Paul went up the top, and I think you just went on a whim, really. And then when I came up there, I said, like, hang on a minute, this has all changed. And then you told me promptly that it's like it worked out that way, which it inevitably does. So it goes to illustrate the fact that a lot of the circles sometimes are done, some of the design is actually done on the night. So
Yes.
it can actually change. In fact, there's very few circle makers that I know that actually has when they draw out their designs, per se, it actually turns out exactly how they put it on the paper. So
yeah, sure. So, well, that sort of level of randomness, I suppose, that comes is sometimes where other people find great significance, because sometimes the mistakes that happen are seen by researchers as being wonderful, detours in mathematics and things like that, unintentional but appearing nonetheless. So. It is quite interesting, but like I say, that night was a very special night. To have the urge to go and make a formation in front of people and feel like you could really feel like it was the right thing to do, that you were okay, you could do it, and that nothing would happen to you, and to execute it in a way whereby you've changed the design and yet it looks really good and people are happy with it, and then people are getting healings afterwards. That's great. I think that worked really well.
definitely.
I mean, this led on to another experience a bit later on where we went down to one circle, and I consciously went against the feelings that we weren't meant to be there, and was going to make us, we were going to sort of do this circle even though it felt wrong. And a number of people had commented that they felt a bit uncomfortable. Would you like to talk about that?
Yeah,
particular circle?
yeah. It was in the summer of 1998. There was a Japanese film crew up on Adam's Grave who were filming for JL Television a documentary about sky watching, UFOs, and circles. And being mischievous as we were, we decided to go and plant one under their nose, which was under their camera view, which is on Adam's Grave, and you could look down into Westwards. There's a big field down there. And we went down there, and basically we went, as you say, we went against our better judgment. And when we're going in there, we're tripping over, I was like covered in mud. I was like, we were effing and blinding at each other. It really wasn't flowing, basically, because you need harmony in these things. I mean, and basically when we got there, we were marking it out. We marked it out wrong and everything else. It just was not happening. And all of a sudden, because we were, again, once right next to this copse of wood called Westwards, I can't remember who actually noticed it first, but there was these two lights that actually came out from the woods. And we thought, hang on a minute, we've been caught. Because initially, from afar, it looked like there was two guys actually walking towards us with torches. But then the lights seemed to not be torches, and they were sort of like two balls of light, and they seemed to be flowing just above the crop. At which point, I think we lost our bottle there, and then we just legged it.
Yeah.
Which we kept looking back at these circles, and then at the balls of light, and the balls of light seemed to drift off upwards, from what I recall. And then we thought, hang on, what's going on here? This is all very strange. But what I have to point out as well is that there is from what I do remember very, very vividly, is that we made the circle. We started to mark out the circle, and then we left it, but we saw these lights. The tram lines were going out one way, and the lights were going across the tram lines. You know? And we saw the next day there was actually no tracks whatsoever. So we left, myself and you, and we went to get the car. And when we got into the car, we literally saw Paul running down the road. And I have to say, I've never seen anyone look so fearful in all his life.
Yep, I'd have to agree there.
He was white as a ghost. And he said to us at that point,
carrying his boards in front
carrying
of him.
his boards, literally.
He was holding his boards as if they were a weapon.
It was almost like he was
frozen to his board.
if you left the front window open, he would have gone in head first. But and you opened the door for him.
Yeah.
And he got in there, boards and all, and he was literally petrified. And he said to us at that point, he goes, I don't know what's going on. And when we finally got him to actually speak after several minutes, he said that he heard this shrilling sound coming towards him, like some these African women wailing, and you sometimes hear them that shrilling sound, la, 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 that kind of thing, coming towards him, with like the trees were actually moving at some point, and we were like, Jesus, man, what the hell happened there?
We tried to dismiss it and say, oh, come on, you must have been hearing just animals like foxes or something crying.
He wouldn't have any of it.
He said, no, absolutely not. This is not not animals. They're definitely not animals. This was human voices. It was like, I think I remember him sort of like drawing a conclusion, some sort of similarity to like witches or something. He said it's like,
like a
women's
banshee
voices,
or
like
something,
banshees or witches or something. Yeah.
He did say that. Yeah.
I mean, I remember chastising him when we got him in the car. I said, get the fuck in this car. What the hell are you doing walking up the road with the boards in your hand? Are you stupid? And he was like, I don't care. Just get me out of here. And then we sort of explained, as he explained what had happened. And we said, well, what was your motivation for just walking up the road? And he said, to be honest, you were a headlight of a car. I wanted humanity. If it had been a police car, I would have got in the police car quite happily, he said. And it was a scary night. And that
very
was
scary, yeah.
That was a night when we were actually going against our feelings that this wasn't really the right field. It wasn't going to work out. There was something not right about this, and we couldn't work out where to start the formation, and we couldn't coordinate. And these
measurements were wrong.
Really simple tasks, isn't it? Like, hold a tape out. How long? 5 meters, or something. Okay, well, 5 meters. There you go. Oh, is it 5 meters? No, it doesn't. No, maybe not. No, we just couldn't decide. 5 meters, 4 meters, 3 meters. Are you standing in the right place? No, that's not the right place. It was just like the actual vibe, the energy was just so weird that I just said, do you know, it's like we're really not meant to do this. it's like something's not right about this. We're all really discoordinated, and we hadn't had any alcohol or anything. I don't remember us having any drink.
I did.
Oh, you did you?
No,
Okay.
I'm
But I mean, it was like something was saying, no, not here. And we were going against that. And I was pushing it. I was like, yeah, come on, let's just do it. And when these lights came on, I was quite scared. I thought that we'd been sussed by the farmers. And I thought that these were lights of torches coming across the field. And then when we chatted about it afterwards, we decided that they were actually coming across the top of the crop very, very quietly and calmly, to our position. They weren't actually jumping around like a torch would if you had people jumping over crop trying to get us. And so we didn't see the beam. They were just balls of light that came from 3 corners of the field and came to the position where we would have been. Scary stuff, that was. And we got the hell out of there. And yeah, so there were nights when it was felt right, and we had magic happen.
It's actually happened subsequent from that as well. When times when we think you should carry on, you think, oh come on, let's do it against your better judgment, and things have gone almost catastrophically wrong. Where you actually you almost come out with a broken leg, and you're wearing mud all over your face. You think, oh, was it worth it? Come on.
Yeah.
So
it's got to feel right. It has to. Feel
yeah, definitely. I would say that's true.
Yeah. So. Should we go to another design? I mean,
yeah, sure.
I'll have a look at the questions. But have we got any other designs that you've done? Which one would you like to pick?
I don't know. Let's have a go. Which one? I would like to talk about this one because we're talking about early days, and we'll just go on to the later days afterwards.
Zoom it up a bit. Yeah. Okay. So we'll bring this one. We'll bring this one into shot. So, oops, this one is it? Was it that one?
Oh no, I was actually going to mention something a bit earlier, but no, we can go on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
There's this on a very good friend of mine who's actually here present. I don't know if he wants to talk about this as well, where he got the inspiration from, but that was beautiful. Loved that as well because it was the first time we experienced with actually doing sort of organic stuff, sort of like off the cuff, as in non-geometry. The idea coming from him, and it's obviously he's a massively brilliant designer. I'm not sure about the beak though, but yeah, it's
all the flames.
No, the flames are very good. Yeah, and it was wonderful. It was received mixed reviews really, but I think the people who got it really got it. Phoenix rising from the ashes. There you go, Harry Potter, and eat your heart out.
Where was I suppose everybody's going to ask. I mean, where was the inspiration for that one?
Well, one.
We've got Fanny and Bob in the studio, so let's fade their mic up and see what they've got to say.
Yeah, well, when I designed this one, it was pretty much to do with the same theme as what the Dragonfly was, which is transformation, because the Phoenix is a very famous sort of depiction of rising from the ashes, isn't it? Reborn again. So that was the theme for us on that particular year, was just trying to, show humanity needs to transform from one state of being to another. But going back to one of the designs that you said earlier, where the design, you had a mistake in the design, and you just incorporated it into it. Remember the mistake on the top of this one? Can you scroll it down a little bit so you can see the actual top disc at all? There you go.
Let's have a look at the photo full screen.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I remember it well.
Where's this mistake?
The design is on the top, where the top disc is.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't on the original design at all, and a mistake happened where a line was overshot, a construction line.
Yes.
And so we just left it until the end and tried to work out what we could do with it. You kind of see the can you see the below the disc? There's just like a little tiny
sliver.
Like a slither above it.
There you go.
Yeah, you go like a thin sliver. Just put it. That's the one. Yeah.
Basically, I overshot. Yeah, I'm guilty. I overshot that, and then.
But it kind of turned out that
it turned out then another chap that was with us, a beautiful designer. He was he managed to make something out of it.
And made a sun, which turns out that the Phoenix is usually depicted in
with the sun on
with the sun above
its head, and it was done by total accident, wasn't it?
So the universe kind of said, nope, you need a disc on the top of that, and so that's how that came about.
And we saw some old pictures, didn't we? And an old
with the sun above there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's amazing.
Yeah, it's funny how the mistakes actually make things better sometimes, and people don't have any idea about that aspect of it. But I mean, inspiration wise, I suppose you could say, well, if we're being guided on certain occasions, we talked about last week, inspiration to get up and go and do formations. I don't know if that's something you can talk about. You know, if
Yeah,
you had the
sure.
inspiration to go out and do something that somebody else has said, well, I was expecting that to come. You know, that would be good if you've got anything stories like that.
No, I haven't said no. I can't say I've had a personal experience of actually doing something that I've heard someone else say. No, but I've definitely done something. Inspiration that's come from, say, me,
Mm-hmm.
as in, you know. Well, we'll probably mention that later on. Well, I believe it's my crowning glory. So there you go. So,
Okay, well, let's go to that then. Why not? Let's.
large pair of Y fronts, please.
Okay, now we're just calling up some images here. So,
Yeah.
we has the Y-fronts.
Yes.
Are you serious? This is your
No, I do believe so. Yeah, because it caused so much. Not so much in
Controversy.
not so much in
Paid
like,
for in the sun.
not so much in the researchers. It was amongst the circle makers. It was a very mixed review there. It was basically done in a bit of laughs, a bit of a joke, really. A Sun newspaper got hold of this and they said brief encounters. I think was the pun. And obviously, I don't know if you can see the bottom corners there. You can see where we overshot the actual circle bit there.
Bottom left, bottom
Yeah,
right.
bottom left and bottom right. So we managed to do them both. We said they're little threads.
Oh, I see. I can see what you mean. Yeah.
They're threads. But yeah, but certain prominent researchers had it the other way round.
Yeah,
They
you
said
can
it's
see the
something
line
to do with
there.
Y chromosome. And
Or an Egyptian headdress.
or an Egyptian headdress. Yeah, I mean, come on, have a word.
Yeah.
Please behave yourselves.
It was also done as a point to emphasise the fact that, what's that old saying, that the emperor wears no clothes. It's just like, say what you see, it is a pair of pants. But
It is actually a pair of pants if you look at it. I mean, any normal human being got that, but unfortunately, the research fraternity did not.
Yeah.
And they turned it around the other way round, and they started making Ys out of it. And it's self-repeating pattern Ys, and it's like, I mean, why? Yeah, indeed, why?
Mm. I mean, yeah, they turned it upside down, I think, and they refused to see the significance of it looking like a pair of pants. I mean, from the lay design in there, it actually looks interesting because it looks like a bit of a house going on or something.
or three-dimensional pyramid on sort of.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of
Sort of
people
angle.
got that because it was basically swelled into that pattern. But
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't supposed to be that way. It was basically supposed to be a pair of Y fronts. And in retrospect, I think we should have done a band on the top, made the actual top bit, the middle bit, going a bit wider.
Yeah.
But you know,
the edges go in slanting a bit.
maybe we'll
or
try that in
something.
a few years' time.
Yeah.
People have forgotten about it.
Do a thong.
Yeah, maybe
Don't
you
get
should
full.
redo it and put some legs and a body in there and start working out, you know, in multiple nights like they do. You know, the body will appear over several nights as it's been happening.
What I want to illustrate with this particular circle is that the circle makers can actually take the mick as well of certain things, and then people did obviously buy it. I know Doug and Dave and all the other circle makers have done this before us. Yeah, we've actually made circle and they've literally ridiculed all the researchers, and still the researchers continue to this day to talk their chofta. Chofta is a Greek word. Look it up.
Chofta.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I wouldn't like to repeat now. I haven't drank enough wine.
I think I learned a Greek one. Was it bupkis? Bupkis is goat.
Yeah.
Goat poo
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah. So yes, bupkis. Anyway, have we got any questions from anybody? I'm just looking on the live stream now. Somebody called Jim1 says, have the glory days of the phenomena gone, and can that magic be recaptured? So what do you think about that?
It's hard to say. It's definitely changed. There's no question about it. Who's it, Jim? Is it
Jim1.
Jim1?
Or,
Yeah, no,
Jimone, maybe.
Jimone.
Jimone.
It's definitely changed, without a question. I've seen it evolve over the years because I've been involved with it since '96 now, and it's evolved definitely, and it's changed. I think a lot more people now are not willing to buy the fact that these are made by other intelligence other than man. So that side of it's taken away, really. There's a lot less sort of cosmic cookies and nutters, I suppose you could say, that frequent the pubs. A lot of
Yeah, I think
which
they're still
isn't
there.
such a good thing either, because it almost brought a nice little vibe to the pubs as well. So it's a bit of a mixed realm, really. Has it gone? Can it be recaptured? Possible.
Yeah, some people are saying, will the show contribute to the demise of crop circles? Well, I don't know, because like we said last week, I think that some people are just not going to not really going to listen to what we're saying in this show. I'm sure that there's active denial going on right as we speak, because we've made many proclamations over the years which have just been ignored by the crop circle researchers. They're very capable of going, we don't hear you, we don't see you, and then claiming that nobody has offered any information to say that this was a man-made circle, and saying, no, we don't know anything. And it's like, well, we sent you an email, we spoke to you in a pub, we met you at a conference, and and it's like it just doesn't get back. So I'm sure that Michael Glickman, Francine Blake, and all the rest of them, Lucy Pringle, they may secretly, slyly watch this on their own, but I'm sure they won't tell anybody else to. If you catch my drift.
The antithesis of circle research in their eyes.
Yeah. So, right, we've got a question from Johnny. And, I know who this is. Johnny from Maidstone in Kent. And he says, Laura Lee asked if you have any strange dreams concerning crop circles. This is for Dave, I think. So let's ask Dave. Yeah.
No.
Dave, do you have any strange dreams regarding crop circles?
No. No, that is the honest truth. I don't know what else to say on that one.
Yeah. Okay, we've got somebody who wants to say something. So, what's your agent name first?
Agent E.
Agent E. So Agent E is going to.
Dave.
Hello.
Why do you think the crop circle researchers are in such denial about where the crop circles come from? Like, almost they'd need to have something to believe in.
My personal belief, and I think I go along with the other circle makers and normal thinking people, is they got something to protect, which is finance. I think it's all to do with finance. That they have carved out a little niche for themselves where they can actually make money on the back of, I wouldn't call people naive, but I would call them people who don't understand what the crop circles are about. And they see them as targets, i.e. money bags. Yeah, and that's the basic truth. These people see that. I believe also that the circle researchers know the truth beyond a shadow of a doubt. I do believe they know the truth, and I believe they are the hoaxers, because they are not the ones that are telling the truth. We are the real people.
So they're not necessarily believing it themselves, they're just giving out that impression.
Yes, I do believe that is the truth. The Francine Blakes, the Michael Glickmans, the Lucy Pringles, the Andy Thomases, all of those. All of those you wish to, all the books, basically, yeah. Cut out the nice pictures, right? Take the text that's in the books and burn it, because that's what it's worth.
I mean, there obviously are people that really do genuinely believe. I mean, even with all the evidence against it.
Sorry, repeat that. I
mean, there are a
off
lot
on
of people that genuinely do believe that the crop circles are obviously made by some otherworldly forces.
Yeah, well,
there's so much evidence to prove that it isn't, and people like yourself.
Yeah. Oh well. Listen. Anyone's entitled to their own belief, right? And at the end of the day, it's up to them what they wish to believe. But at the end of the day, the overwhelming evidence is that the fact that they are man-made. And come on, please, come on.
But the people that you're referring to, though, Agent E, are usually quite, really nice sort of people. Because when we first got into the phenomenon in 2000. And we were believers when we first saw them up on the hills, and just really loved it and thought there's no way they could be made by people. And then it's strange how we immediately think that, isn't it? You're like, oh no, humans aren't capable of doing such amazing things. But anyway, we went into the crop circle and we met researchers in there, and they have got the gift of the gab. And if you're a little bit susceptible to, believing outlandish things, if you want to believe in something, they can convince you very easily.
Indeed.
Because they know they come out with all these mathematical equations and they come out with all these weird things, and we got completely hooked into it, didn't we?
It's the fool me once thing.
It's the
Fool me once, mate. The one that Bush couldn't come out with. Fool me once, shame on me. But yeah, it's that basically. And yeah, I was taken in by the whole thing. I literally was, and I was there was a gentleman from Germany, I believe, who wrote this book, Messages from the Gods or something. It wasn't a von Daniken guy, but it had these one. No, that's von Daniken. No, there was another book where it had these beautiful glossy pictures. part of the reason I actually went down to Wiltshire in the first place, because I bought this book, and I thought, oh, my God, what's going on over here? And then you realise that when you talk to the actual locals, it had nothing to do with crop circles whatsoever, Wiltshire folk. And then they used to laugh. These are like, oh, come on. And it was almost like these people that used to go into pubs and everything, like, they know the truth, you know, so come on.
I remember rushing into what was it called? The Bell on A4 in between Avebury and Marlborough when we first come down to the area. Do you remember it? And we went rushing in there with full, rushing into the pub going, oh, yeah, there's a crop circle up the road. You know where it is? And we was all really bright-eyed and excited, and everybody looked at us and went, really?
Yeah, it's not that exciting.
It's over there. We were like, yeah, so you're right.
I think I got onto the tail end of the Magic days, you know, when it was like, you know, the Doug and Dave, and I actually witnessed Doug Bauer, because I believe Dave Chorley died at that point. She went and made a crop circle for the BBC Crunchy File up on one of the hills with certain other guys, and it was like I actually saw the guy there. I thought, like, my God, there he is, the one circle maker that's still alive, the original. So yeah, I actually met the guy. He was very nice gentleman.
Yeah. Did you speak much? I mean,
no, I think he swore at me. I mean, I think at that point I was actually saying, "How did you know?" It was a bit of a, yeah, but yeah, no, he seemed a nice gentleman anyway.
right. Yeah, there were a few people who were shouting at him at the time, and I think he thought.
I think that's what it was. I think we got a crossfire at that point.
Yeah.
I think I was trying to say something to him, and he just told me to probably leave.
I think people that sussed out that Doug was making a crop circle that night, and they decided to go up there and harass him. So words were exchanged, and then people who were actually circle makers were trying to sort of get a point across, going, no, actually we're sort of, circle makers. Got told to F off as well. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yes, but so you think that basically a lot of people are into making money, so some of what we're doing tonight might actually diffuse that, maybe. Let's hope.
Well, I hope so. I hope people will go into websites and they buy.
I'm just doing a funny on screen there then. Sorry, I was just doing my curses thing. We spoiled their chances to make money. Yes.
Well, yeah.
Well, not really, because they'll still make money and nobody's going to believe us anyway, so yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the people who just go in this a little bit late on the phenomena. So they're the ones that actually go in there sort of open eyes, and they want information. They usually get set upon by certain people, and they said, "Oh, it's not possible to make these things," and when it's so blatantly obvious that it is. And the ones that the researchers that we really want to have a go at are the ones that actually been in the phenomena for a long time. They're the ones that actually want, not the ones that, but the ones you've mentioned.
Yeah. Francine,
the Francine, the Michaels, and all that lot.
They've got so much invested in it.
And you know what? As a circle maker, I just want to actually pull this one out now. As a circle maker,
here we go. This sounds good.
I'm often asked, when I said I make crop circles, the question that most people ask, which is the one that the researchers tend to pull out of their derriere very often, is the bent nodes. Now let's talk about the bent nodes, shall we?
Yes.
So I can just
certainly
put this here. I don't know if anyone see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a picture of basically, it's a really bad illustration of mine, of crop that's standing up, and these things here are called nodes. This is how the wheat grows, basically from the nodes. Yeah. And when you stomp down crop, it goes like this. Now, when it's green crop, the sunlight will still hit the side of the stalks that actually still hit the sun, which still has chlorophyll, will continue to grow. Yeah. And they will grow in this knuckle type pattern. And the circle researchers use this as magical bends in the nodes.
That's what they say, yes.
That's what they say. Now, I have a very, very good friend of mine who is actually a thatcher of 22 years. Can I actually say to him, when I told him about the bent nodes and the blown nodes thing, they call it in the thatching industry, they call this dogleg. Now, he calls dogleg straw is common in thatching, wheat straw. It is a normal pattern of growth due to the frost, heat from the sun, and other climate change. When straw is wet and dries quickly, it generates its own natural heat, which can cause nodes to split and explode. Yeah, he's actually told me as well that when he's up on a thatching a roof, when he's using wheat straw, the very same stuff that we actually make the crop circles in. Yeah, he hears this crackling, popping sound, almost like Rice Krispies, if you like. Yeah, and he says that they are the nodes actually exploding under their own heat. When straw has been wet in a bundle, yeah, he says you can put your hand inside the bundle and it's almost like burning hot. It's almost like composting because actually it's giving off its own heat. The nodes themselves are little air pockets. Air expands when it's heated, hence blown nodes. Let's put that one to bed, right? And researchers, stop it.
Yeah. Well, I had a similar sort of explanation given to me by a gentleman called Francesco Grassi, who I've worked with over the years, made a few crop circles. He came over and he basically worked with scientists in an Italian university. And they said, yeah, we know all about this this particular phenomena of nodal sort of bending. And they said that the fluid that comes out of the knuckle that leaks out will turn black because it contains yeast. And I think that it's basically, it carbonizes, it turns black on the outside of the plant. Now, this blackening has been likened to microwave damage. It's been called microwave damage by people who aren't actually professors, but claim to be professors or
Indeed,
doctors. Yeah. And this has been bandied around for a very long time now as being, you know, de facto proof that science can say that men cannot make the crop circles. But I mean, you know, you're taking a very well-known phenomena that's known to scientists. There's no problem with this at all, and you try to turn it into something fantastic. And the people who are doing this are not, don't have the credentials to do that.
Indeed, no, they're self-proclaimed. They self-titled, don't they, as well?
Self-titled doctors.
Self-doctors and geomet master thingies or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a master circle maker, by the way.
Yes, and I'm the Pope of all crop circles.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
Give myself a title. Yeah. So, have you got any other designs that we should have a look at?
Yeah, sure. Let's bring up the. Let's do that one you got there. That's lovely. That one.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
This one, yeah.
Yeah, that
Ready
one.
to go?
That was a monumental design. I mean, I don't know if you could appreciate the actual scale of it because of the actual.
This one had a name.
Tram lines, yeah. We called it the OM. Yeah. It was supposed to be a sort of OM, but it went a bit sort of skew-if. But let's call it like lots of bubbles design. Yeah, which is lovely because it is lots of really lovely bubbles. But it is just massive. But it is the OM. Yeah. We didn't get to finish it because obviously you cannot appreciate the scale of this thing. It is gargantuan. There was lots of us on this thing, and I think we had to recover from my recollections. And the designer is here herself. I don't know if she wants to have a word.
Hello.
It's
Yeah,
Fanny.
we can hear you. Fanny's
She
on.
saw
Fanny's
this
online,
and she
Fanny's
was
online,
adamant.
and it's free. It's the only place on the internet you can get Fanny for free. Couldn't resist. Sorry.
There's lots of very amusing anecdotes about this circle. Yeah, not least the hair alight incident, which my hair did actually spring a light in that one. I was lighting a cigarette and it actually it spontaneously combusted. Yeah,
This was
not
called-
sure it was quite the thing that they saw up on the hill, but anyway, yeah. Anyway, it's an amusing anecdote. But there were certain people who were watching that circle from the hill, just above, who have had a night vision camera, I believe. I'm not sure who, what equipment they had.
Winkeach, his name wasn't it?
Winston
Winkeach.
Keach.
Yeah, is it Winkeach? Oh, yeah, that's the girl. Sorry, not the lad that was in on the hill. And we actually went to see him the next day. And I don't know if he remembers us all tramping up there full of mud and thinking, "Oh, look at that." But yeah, but this one has this theory that there's no way it could be made by man, and it was like there's loads of stuff written on the internet about this. There is utter horseshit. Other than the fact that it was made by 8 of us and we were totally knackered and we didn't quite get to finish it.
Right. Well, we've got a comment from Crop Dolly.
Sorry, I'm actually corrected on that. It was actually 12. Beg your pardon.
Oh, sorry, Crossbone. We've got a comment from Crossbone. He says, please can you ask Dave how he comes up with his designs and how he decides which ones to put into the fields? After all this time, have his designs evolved?
Okay, if I'd like to answer that, I've always been not a designer. I've always been involved in the circles, as in someone who helps along make the circles. The designers choose to remain anonymous. for obvious reasons. Yeah, that's for them to do that, right? That's why they choose not to show their faces. I've designed two personally. The Y fronts and this particular one with the yin yang sign, which has a
Okay,
saw
let's
in a
bring
dream
this up.
once.
Yin yang formation.
Yeah, I designed that. These are my personal designs. So there's only two I've designed, so I can't really say that I'm actually. You really do need to ask that question. In fact, put that question to the designers.
Yeah. So did you catch the question?
I did, but read it to me.
Ask Dave how he comes up with his designs and how he decides which ones to put into the fields. After all this time, has his designs evolved? So,
Well, I guess when you come up with a design, there's no real set thing. I mean, you think of the design as well, Dave. Like this one here.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think of a design, it's just something that pops into your head at that time.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it? Or something you think, oh, I fancy doing that, or a symbol that means something to you personally,
Yeah.
or a message that you want to convey, isn't it? Really. Or after a what? A squiggling session. Yeah, sometimes simple as that. Yeah, you just get your pens out and your compass and you start drawing, and sometimes you do it. Yeah, you get an idea of a theme maybe that you want to put into it, and then just look for inspiration.
Like the animal theme that happened a couple of years back.
Yeah,
it was definitely
yeah. We just started doing that.
The irony about that one is that we started. Well, I don't know who started the animal theme. I think it was one probably.
The jellyfish appeared first, didn't it? I think.
And then all of a sudden there was all these animal designs that were appearing elsewhere, subsequent of people talking to each other, that the fact that there was going to be an animal theme going on in that year. So yeah, and the papers actually took up on that very much. So it said like, look at this.
Sometimes the themes sort of pick themselves, well, like that animal theme sort of evolved, didn't it? Really, we spoke to each other, and it just seemed like the natural thing to do at the time.
Yes, they do evolve over the years, don't they?
And yes, they do. Yes,
without doubt.
The evolution of the teams involved.
Yes.
Practice makes perfect. Well, not quite perfect on some occasions, but
sure. I just read some feedback here. Somebody called Hedge Dread says Dave's node speech makes perfect sense. Yes,
we concur.
Yeah, I think the technical term is phototropism, isn't it? That's the technical term.
To be honest with you, I didn't even actually look it up. It's one of those things that it's so bloody obvious, really, isn't it? Come on, let's face it. If anyone who's seen crops grow in the field, they know you can pick out bent nodes.
Yes.
Without it being in a crop circle. So,
Jim one or Jimone, I don't know. Jimone. Yeah,
sorry, we're not mocking you.
You can see how circle makers behave. Yes, says, how do you feel when circles started to appear in other parts of the UK? Well, they were already appearing in the other parts of the UK before we even started. So, I mean, it wasn't a case of we did things and then it started appearing in other parts of the UK.
But let's face it, it's only really been concentrated in certain counties, though, isn't it? Hampshire, Wiltshire, the cereal belt.
There's a few up in Yorkshire, very rarely. I've seen
a few in Sussex. Well, that's a bit suspect. Andy Thomas lives down there, doesn't he?
Mr. Thomas, where were you that night?
Where were you that night in Sussex?
Yes. Well, we do know that there are some circles researchers out there that have had a little hand in making a few circles, but this is not public knowledge. But yes, there are some that have taken a hand to making certain designs. But we've got a very good question here from Crossbone. What's your favourite kind of cheese?
I have to say dolce latte, torta de dolce latte.
Right. I don't know. I'm
Derelict.
Yeah, I think Monterey Jack, I would say, is mine, but you can't get it in this country properly. But what a great question! Yes. Right, Crop Dolly. Talking of the animal thing, is it no coincidence that last year and 2009 many formations involved birds and fish, and this autumn we have witnessed sudden deaths of birds and fish? What do you think about that one?
Yeah, very often, you see these things happen with crop circles. Sometimes illustrate a theme. I mean, it was a few years back. I remember the fractal stuff and the moire patterns that were happening. And there was these illustrations that came out in the scientific journal that almost looked crop circle like, and like the moire patterns. It looked remarkably similar to the stuff that happened the season before. So yeah, it does happen. You do see parallels sometimes in the designs and sometimes what happens later on. And this bird thing, birds spontaneously dying everywhere. It's a bit bloody worrying. Let's face it.
I know that.
I mean,
So are you saying that birds and fish dying is because you made a bird and
no,
fish crop
no,
circle?
no, no, no,
Coincidence.
no. It's the coincidence, not at all. No, have a word. Come on.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
it's not.
I know that there was a set of crop circles made with fins, like blades of a propeller, which was supposed to represent the fact that dolphins were getting caught up in nets, and propeller noise was supposed to be the blame for this. That, you know, dolphins are getting their acoustics,
Sonars,
their
yeah.
sonar stuff affected by the large amount of traffic in the oceans these days, and sonar pinging and things might be causing some whales and dolphins to beach themselves, and some of them are getting caught in nets where they say that the dolphins should easily be able to sort of get out of these nets, but they don't appear to do so. So somebody did a crop circle one year to kind of reflect that. I know that there's a sensitivity there from crop circle makers to kind of communicate that through certain designs. So which one are we talking about now? I'm beginning to feel that there's a higher consciousness and that the crop circle makers are tapping into it here. And that's from Crop Dolly.
It's funny. What you said there is something that we've talked about amongst circle makers, and it's a recurring theme that happens amongst circle makers. It's like I've heard it once being akin to "Oh, we God's pencil," wherever you want to talk about it. It's one of those things. I mean, in no wish to be, you know, in a very non-messianic complex, but you do understand what it is. The inspiration, where does it come from? But then you can also akin that to, you know, any artist is like who draws a picture. You get to observe it from a wall or from a table or whatever. But in this instance, you actually get to step into someone's piece of art. So it's different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've felt inspired to do certain things, and obviously, you know, we talked about that last week, but yeah, there's definitely a lot that goes on later on. You know, when you think about these things initially and you put them in the fields, you know, you haven't got that in your head, but then later on you'll start to see a theme appearing, and you'll think, oh, you know, are we all picking up on the same thing? You know, it's this three-dimensional theme, or an animal theme, or a certain type of, you know, a certain type of thing comes along, and it gets the circle makers quite a buzz. I find that they get buzzing on it, you know, and sort of like one idea will beget another idea. And where do these ideas come from? I mean, it's definitely something we do talk about. Yeah,
Definitely, there's no question about it.
so have we got any more designs to chat about on screen?
Okay, let's have a look at this one. Yeah, that's a beautiful one.
Bring
That
this
one
one up. Yeah, there you go.
there. Yeah. This is one that was made in just under Milk. Where is that? Milk Hill, isn't it? Milk Hill. Yeah, Stanton. No, is it Stanton? No,
The Stanton White Horse.
Stanton White Horse. Yeah, yeah. That was done in what was that? Bali, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Regardless of that, it was a huge thing. But what I remember doing with this one is that it was a particularly really windy day, and if you do get ground shots of that, which is quite amusing, you get to see a really wobbly straight, well, supposedly straight lines you can see there. They're actually extremely wobbly. So and the crop. This is what we're going back to the nodes where they spring back up. This was actually taken the next day after we made it. We had actually stomped it down, and the crop started springing up, and hence having lots of these so-called magical bends in them. This was one of these crop circles where researchers go in and just literally start to have a patio about it, you know.
Sure. Okay, should we go on to another design?
Yeah. Yeah, this one nearly killed us. It was gargantuan inside. There was only 3 of us. Yeah, there was only 3 of us, and you know, the designer here again. It was a beautiful idea. It's supposed to denote the chakras, you know, the crown, the eye, the throat, the heart, that one and that one and that one.
Yes.
The last 3 we didn't get to finish really because we got to the 4th one, and the last 3 were supposed to be a lot more intricate than that. Supposed to denote the could someone help me out on this? What were they called?
Yeah, but the energy flow going from the crown all the way down through the heart and all the way down to the base chakra, and it was supposed to be the last 3 circles were like a staggered channel effect.
Yeah, there was basically a lot more intricate in that. And in retrospect, we actually should have hit that.
But then when we got to the heart,
yeah,
the dawn
the
started
dawn
coming up
did
a bit
approach
quick,
us.
so
And
we had
I
to.
think we left literally it was daylight when we went out there.
It was broad
Yeah.
daylight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very thanks to the farmer who allowed us to do that.
Cool.
And what was really great about that one as well is on the net a few days later, we just saw that in the heart chakra there, big groups of people are in there meditating and drumming and doing all really nice things and doing healing work because it's the chakras. So there's the magic right there.
Exactly. And
That's
people,
what we do.
you cannot believe how much we get out of something like this. It really does. Well, it's amazing to see that. And people say to me, don't you laugh at these people? So no, absolutely not. Quite the opposite. Not at all. Not at all. In fact, it gives us so much inspiration to go out and do something even more.
It's like a gift.
It's nothing. It's never. People, we never ever take the mick. It's nothing like that.
Yeah. Okay, if we go on to the next picture, we'll have a look. We've seen these ones before. Any others? Right. Okay, pans. Now.
Yes, that fella. Yeah.
You're going to take a chance on this one.
Well, I
You're gonna
don't know.
take a
The
chance.
author, the actual author and designer, is not actually here. We tried to get him permission. I was only there as a helper on this thing. I think it's absolutely stunning and beautiful. Quite possibly one of the most technical and beautiful designs I've been involved in. Yeah, what can you say? It speaks for itself, doesn't it? Really. It is amazing.
Especially the lay around the top
yes.
there. The
So the
three-dimensional
designer who made this is nothing short of a genius. He really is. He's made some of the most incredible designs, and he came up with this 3D lay of the crop at the top. So it gives a 3D sort of cubic effect, so it all stands out where the crop is laid in different directions. So it has this sort of effect like that. An absolute genius. I'll take my hat off to you again, sir.
Yes.
He knows who he is.
We would even hope that at some point you would like to come on the show, and I think the indications were last summer that definitely does wish to be known in some way. So we shall see if whether by face or by mask he will come on the show. And hats off to you, sir.
Hats off to you.
Yes, all the circle makers that do the really, really, really good stuff that we can't really mention unless they're actually on the show. But I think this guy probably is going to be cool
He's
with
a
that
genius.
because
He's a Banksy of his time in the field.
he's one of the good guys.
One of the good guys.
Yep.
And it was an absolute pleasure to be involved in this, as it has been with all of them. But can we pull up the hummingbird, please? Is that possible?
Yes,
That one. There's another one that is made by another genius.
There we go.
Yeah.
There's the hummingbird.
And it is beautiful. He was basically there. What he was trying to denote is the Nazca lines there. Obviously, I'm sure it's pretty obvious to a lot of people there. But I think that came out so crisp and beautiful, and I'm very proud of that one as well.
Yeah, great design.
What are you going to say about it?
Anything else? We've got the designers and the makers here. Yeah. So we're just going through. That's the last, is it? Yeah. So those are the photos we brought up. But right, how have we got question wise? Should we go and have a look at some questions, and we might get some people on Skype if there's anybody interested. What I was going to say is if you want to check the Skype out, see if we've got any people who have actually tried to send us any text messages. No, we're all dry on Skype at the moment. But if you want to Skype us, send us a quick text message on Skype first, and add us as CirclemakersTV in your Skype, and then you can Skype into the show. You can even webcam in. We think we've got the technology. We're not sure, but we think we've got the technology to bring you up on screen. So you can ask your questions directly to the Circle Makers, and we'll probably do that within the next 10 minutes if you're there. But going across to the questions on the chat area. Which one? Hedge tread. Would any of you guys agree that maybe you could just be a medium for that kind of energy that may drive these creations?
Yeah, I think again that question was answered earlier. Yeah, yeah, definitely. There is something that the driving force, the buzz. Because I mean, let's face it, there's no monetary gain from it. There is only hassle and muddiness, but the thing you get from it is actually the enjoyment of seeing people enjoying your part of your creation. So I don't know, unless you say inspiration is the very thing that drives us, then. But I'd like to put that question off to someone else if someone else would like to answer that. Would you? Not? No.
Oh no, sorry. I was just making a comment about getting the bandwidth back by not having our live stream up in the background. But we've got 39 viewers, so 39 viewers. That's pretty good. Yeah, we haven't gone over the 50 that we did last week, but we had our limits removed, which was quite nice. Live stream saw that we were doing a good job, and they said, "Yep, okay, you can have your limit removed." Oh. So hopefully when we get some more circle makers in who are going to reveal things about their work, then that's going to bring up some more people. But what have we got from Crop Dolly says, another case of divine intervention, perhaps. So I think that's referring to the kind of energy. And Inco says about Crop Dolly's question, if true, that doesn't mean the individual events are connected. Well, synchronicities, obviously you look for connections, but you right. We've got somebody who's trying to Skype in. We'll go to this person in a second. This is James. Well, we'll call him Crop Dolly. So can you hear us, Crop Dolly?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Ah, right. So this is a female.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay, Crop Dolly. Nice to speak to you. We'll put you across to Dave. And
Hi, Dave.
Can you hear it now, Dave?
Hello?
Hello, Dave.
Hello?
Is it echoing a bit?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm echoing, actually. I can hear myself echoing again. Is it,
I tell you what,
that's better, actually.
put those on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Go ahead.
I won't be able to hear what Dave's hearing now.
Yeah.
So
I just wanted to bring up
Go
the
back.
point about the crop circles that you say they're all man-made. Are there any crop circles that you just can't explain the sources of?
There are a lot of crop circles that I can't say that I don't. Well, my personal belief is that they're all man-made. This is my personal belief. Now, I don't know who's the author of absolutely every single crop circle. I can't lay claim to that. The only thing I can say is basically that my personal belief is that they are all man-made. I think there's an awful lot of people out there, circle makers, who have got onto the circle making thing, and they see what it is for themselves. So there's a lot of people, a lot of teams from lots of different places, and I think the authors are definitely man. So yeah.
It's just why I'm asking the question is that last summer we went to the formation down by Lark Hill. Do you remember that big form? It was like an H-shaped
Oh yeah, yeah.
formation. And we went in there there were about 3 of us, and the farmer came along. You know, the guy that owned that field, because they had a collection box in there.
Yeah.
And we were a bit scared in case he was going to shout at us, but no, he was quite fine. But he said, this is definitely not an alien source. This is crop damage. But he said, I have to say, I mean, he got chatting to us and he wanted to talk a bit more, and said that I have to say that I did come across a crop circle, as it were, where the crop was fallen to the ground in a complete circle. And he said there were no tram lines on that part of the land. There was no sort of, it was right out off the beaten track. I know you guys get to.
I've also heard this before.
And
I've also
it was
heard
also
this myself from other farmers here in Wiltshire. I've heard this phenomena from the old days, saying that people have seen circles. But these are anecdotes from people from the old days. I mean, how long has the crop circles been going on? I mean, the earliest picture of a crop circle, I believe, is the 1979, and it's called a saucer nest from Australia. And that's the earliest picture, I believe, that actually exists of a crop circle, which are simple discs in a field, which reportedly happened all over Australia. And again, lots of people in Wiltshire, farmers in Wiltshire, claim to have seen these things. Now, I know someone who did some research who said they got some aerial photography taken in the 1940s during the Second World War of aerial shots over the Wiltshire area, and unfortunately nothing appears on that. So who knows? It really is a bit of a mystery as to where the phenomenon actually started.
Well, I've read somewhere that they go back. It's the earliest recording is way back even in the 1600s. Where
You're not going to go into the Moan Devil thing, are you?
well, it was something like that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it was something like
'cause
that. I'm not going to go into it, but it was something that was meant that I picked up.
A lot
in
of people
books.
actually talk about the mowing devil, and it's like, you know, that plaque is really just an illustration of an old pagan belief, which does not, I don't think, actually denote a crop circle whatsoever. It's just something that's been
But all the researchers pulled that one out of the hat. Every single lecture.
It's another one of those little derriere moments, isn't it? Yeah. Honestly, you really need to see, as I said, who did it in the 1970s in Australia? In 79. That's I believe, the earliest photograph of a crop circle. So unless anyone can prove me wrong, I think that's the earliest one.
I think it was called.
They called them saucer nests.
Saucer nests. Yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah. In Tully in Queensland, I believe it was.
That's it.
Yeah. So
I think the other interesting thing about where this crop circle or this crop formation, or whatever it was that the farmer saw, where it was found, where the crop was completely laid flat, and he couldn't understand where it was. It was actually near one of these places. What do they call them? Like Tumalai. Is it the burial, the old burial sites?
Yeah. Yeah,
and I guess they got different energy. Perhaps there's different energy going through the land in these places.
It is possible. I don't discredit that at all. You know, it is possible. But also, don't forget that a lot of the circle makers will actually choose to put these things in those places in order for them to be seen. So there is that side of it as well. Listen, I'm not trying to be, you know, sort of like, oh, I don't believe anything. But you know, I think we have to look at it from a very objective point of view.
I think so. I think objectivity is definitely
some of the areas where the circles go make very nice photographs. You always got to remember.
Yeah, that's it as well. They strategically put them under white horses as well, so they can get the white horse in as well.
do you have any other questions, Crop Dolly?
I think I might have another question because it's.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay. Sorry, I had to write it because it was a friend of mine. That's the question. The other thing that I wanted to point out was the farmer said it was daytime when it happened, and he was very skeptical, and he was quite sure that no people had made this. But again, I didn't know exactly how much of a circle it was, and again, without photographic evidence, and then you can't obviously prove anything.
Sorry, which one are you referring to?
That one that the farmer talked about that he discovered.
Oh, right. He said he claimed it was made at daytime, did he? Do you know, I don't know anything about that one, so I couldn't really comment on that. I know definitely there was one that was supposedly made within 15 minutes of going past Stonehenge that someone keeps lots of people keep referring to.
Do you know who sourced that one?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so was it made at night?
No, it was made at night. It's just the person didn't observe it when he went over there in the first place. So that's basically what it happens. You know, it was the person who was flying the aircraft, you know, is blind to his own belief. He knows who he is. So there you go.
Yeah.
Either
okay,
that
thanks
or
very much, Dave.
I put forward the idea. Sorry, I put forward the idea that being a pilot and actually flying over some of these fields, when you have the sun shining at a certain angle, you can't see the crop circle as you're approaching it. You're thinking, "Where's this crop circle? I heard there was a crop circle. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?" And then you spot it underneath you, and then when you fly around the other side, it becomes very visible. You actually spot it. Much better when the light is at a 180-degree angle away from it. So it's possible that the pilot was flying out, and of course what he's looking for is Stonehenge, and he's pointing out Stonehenge. He's not seeing the crop circle because of the way the light is shining. Then he goes past it, and as he's flying back, then it's illuminated. And it's almost like polarized glasses. If you've seen polarized glasses, when you turn them 90 degrees, they light up or get dark, and you can see reflections in windows and not see the reflection in a window. Well, crop circles are like that. When you're in the air, you can sometimes see them and not see them.
That's true.
So I think he might have been
for that one,
being genuine in his stating that he genuinely didn't see it. And but I think probably looking at Stonehenge would have had something to do with it as well. So is that all that you want to ask, Crop Dolly?
Yeah, there's just another point. Could I make another point?
Certainly.
There was the point that was brought up last week on a Facebook page about the show, and I just want to categorically say that that I'm not an actress and I'm not being paid by Matthew Williams to ask the questions online.
Somebody thinks, where do they think? Well, I suppose, yeah, somebody actually said, where's he getting all the money for all this equipment? And it's like, well, does anybody know what I have done over the years? I'm into video editing and I've collected a lot of this equipment over the years. It's taken me a long time. But I'm just one of those people who sort of, collects equipment. And
Yeah, so I just want to categorically say that because I've only actually met you once, and that was very, very briefly when you actually shocked the hell out of me and told me that crop circles were made by people.
That's right. And you said that we met at a conference in London, and that it was you have some background in chemistry. You were saying, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got all the
that.
science
Sweet.
credentials. I am a real doctor. Way.
Are you a doctor? You are a doctor.
Yeah, I did. I'm a doctor in bio and organic chemistry. So I've looked at symmetries of crystal formations.
Right. I had no idea. You were sort of playing down your are you a real doctor? You're not one of these internet certificate doctors.
I have a PhD awarded to me by the University of East Anglia, Norwich, in 2001.
Right. Okay. Because this is the thing, you see. I mean, I'm just interested to ask a doctor now, whilst you're on the air. I've got this like little lump on my side. No, sorry.
Can't help you with it, mate.
Maximum, value for money here. Sorry, no, I'm not paying you. We'll just keep this one going. No, I thought I'd ask you, if a doctor is asked about their credentials, would you be offended by that? And would you say, would you immediately say, well, here are my certificates and this is where I got my doctorate from? Would that be something for a doctor to do to try and prove their real credentials?
Well, absolutely. I mean, my certificates are up on the wall on my mother's house, so I just have to take it out, frame and all.
Right.
But of course, I mean, if you've really worked for 3.5 years and then, had to suffer, a lot of them suffer a lot of material hardship to write up a thesis. It's not only doing the research and getting some results to talk about. It's also then going through the heartbreaking, really sometimes heartbreaking process of writing your thesis and then having it published and then having to defend it with at least 2 or 3 people in your field that you've chosen to study that have been in this field for about 20 or 30 years. I mean, I was anorexic by the time I finished my PhD, and I mean that this is what you hear all the time. And
sure, the reason I was asking you is because
hard work.
You've got some of these people like Dr. William Levengood and Professor Glickman, and I mean, how do you feel about that? Having done the real work and having people coming along saying that they're doctors and professors and they aren't really who they say they are.
It's a little bit of a well, you do feel a little bit kind of thwarted by it because, doing a PhD is almost like a total, like writing a symphony. You completely, I mean, it's such a lonely life as well. I mean, you really are engrossed entirely in that tiny little corner of the universe you're chipping away at. And nobody's really going to possibly read it afterwards, after you have written it. So it depends whether they're leaving good or have they been offered like honorary degrees. I know that sometimes happens in some universities. They get awarded for their work. We're going to give you an honorary PhD or something.
Yeah, I think Dr. Levengood, or Mr. Levengood, we should say rather, claimed that he had been given an honorary doctorate by the National Academy of Sciences in the United States, and they were contacted and they said, we don't give out honorary doctorates. So
then he's a liar, isn't he?
Once, then he tried to back it up with another lie, and it all fell apart. But these are the things that people
title
don't know.
doctor is a very prestigious title that many people would love to have, and love to take.
Gives you a lot of standing, doesn't it?
Pardon?
Gives you a lot of standing. People take it seriously. They think, this is a respected position. We have to listen to this person.
But you have to work for it.
Yes.
You really have to work and go through the material hardship as well of studying.
I'd like to mention also,
I mean, I got
met my fair share of fake doctors in my time in the barge in.
Have you?
Oh yes, lots of fake doctors that turned out to be completely fake.
Yes.
What about the professorship given to Michael Glickman?
Well, yeah,
Was that an honorary professorship?
well, I don't know whether it was honorary or not, but I mean, I just out of interest contacted the University of Southern California. I've talked about this on my YouTube channel. And I got in touch with this lady called Carol Guston, and she's the head of the department. So she knows all the people who are working there teaching the students because she runs the department. So she's the head. And she says that she remembers Michael Glickman. He gave a couple of lectures at the USC and was very well received and liked by the students, but he was never a professor. He just gave some lectures.
I think it's disgusting, actually, if somebody comes up and is trying to deceive the public by saying, look, I'm a professor of this.
Yeah.
You know, the term professor it means a person who's been in that field. They've done their PhD and they have then continued in that field and have acquired years and years of reading in and around that subject. So are, you know, awarded that title because they are given that status to say, okay, well, you are pretty much the expert in that field. So to actually call yourself a professor, to me would be somebody who's taken years and years of dedicated study of that field.
It's very naughty.
Dr. Greer.
But Dr. Greer, isn't he? He is actually an
He's a medical doctor. He's a specialist.
I take it back. I do apologise.
He is a doctor.
If
He's a medical. This is the difference. You know,
thought
you've got the medical. Really, you know, the term doctor has been stolen by the medical profession. I feel, because to become a doctor, to have a Doctor of Philosophy degree, you have to do, you know, a long time of study, so 7-8 years of study, which includes your first degree as well. Whereas medical students take 5 years, I think it is, for their 5 or 6 years for their degree, and they're at Bachelor of Science level. They're not at doctorate level. Some of them might go off and do a PhD, in which case then they can be awarded the title of doctor. But I sometimes feel that the term doctor by the medical establishment has been really abused.
Right. Okay. Well, very interesting.
The public, when I went into teaching, the kids in school really, you know, to be honest with you, I wish I'd not bothered calling myself doctor and just referred back to my maiden name, because the kids confused, you know, are you a real doctor, miss? You know, they say things like that because they confuse the term doctor with being a medical doctor, like you just did, Matthew.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I know the difference. I know the difference. Yes, but I was just having a little joke with you.
Yeah, but no, it is a term which is misconstrued, and as you say, has so much. People will give their power away to somebody who is claiming they are an expert because they've got that title, you know, in front of their names.
Well, not only did they give away their power, they will even do some pretty nasty things to anyone who's dressed in a white coat. They'll actually do some nasty things because they're ordered to do so. The Milgram experiments, I think, from the 1960s, talk about mind control and how people are just zombified. They listen to what the doctor says and will accept everything, take it on read. People
have been controlled for years by the medical establishment. I feel by the
we digress slightly, so I'm going to get pulled back in, and
so that's it. So I'm a real doctor, and so in a sense that I got a particular degree in that particular speciality, but I'm not going to go hounding around telling you that I'm an expert in crop circles, because I'm learning just like the rest of you.
Well, but plant biologist, doctorate in plant biology sounds to me like something that we need to have on board. And this person is definitely not paid by this channel. We have just about enough money to make the rent each month, let alone paying anyone else. And that's why Circle Makers don't pay the farmers to do the stuff in the fields, because if we had that sort of money, then we would be
should be the other way around, shouldn't it? Surely.
Well, yeah, you know, that's why it's all done illegally, and that's the sad thing, is, you know, nobody can afford to do these things. So no, you know, we don't know who you are, Crop Dolly, but hopefully you'll keep in touch with us, and if you've got anything to offer on the subject of the phototropism and stuff, we'd be interested to hear it. So,
well, I'm very much a lay person. I like the rest. I'm a lay person who's you know, trying to fit in all the pieces of the jigsaw, like a lot of people.
Great. Okay, well, thanks very much for your call. And what we'll do is we'll go across now to some of the people online and answer some of their questions. So thanks very much, Crop Dolly. We'll speak to you in a bit.
Yep. All the best. Bye now.
Thanks a lot. Right. Now I can mute this audio so I can not have the echo again. So there we are. Right, we've got another person here called James, I believe. So James, are you online?
Hi,
Oh, yeah, let me just see if we can get you back up.
the echoing.
There you go. How's that?
I can hear you. You all right?
Great. Hi, James.
Hi, how's it going?
Not too bad. You're through to Dave and the other
Hey,
circle
Dave.
makers. Do you want to ask a question of Dave?
Yeah, I guess I'm interested in kind of you expanding a bit on what your motivations are for going public in this way.
Going full public, did you say?
Why?
Yeah, kind of what your motivations are for going public in this way and kind of coming
Okay,
out.
well, I'm not the first to do so. I'm not the first
No.
to do so, and it has to be said that that basically I'm not one of the prominent. I'm on the peripherals. I consider myself to be on the peripherals of the circle making fraternity. So I'm not going public per se, but I have been involved in the circle fraternity for a long time.
Yeah.
So why other people don't want to go forward, it's up to them. But I feel it's okay for me to do so at this point.
Okay.
Do you feel that you know, the stuff that we did was a long time ago, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
there's very little chance now that anybody would want to sort of take
Well, they could do. I mean, they
prosecution.
could prosecute. Obviously, my face is here now, and I've admitted to a number of circles, which is fine. But I think that, come on,
Could always deny it when you're down the police station, saying, "Oh no, I just
why
said that
don't,
for a laugh." You'd be off the hook then.
But
Okay.
I think it's okay to do so. It's fine because a lot more people are doing that now. It's not just me. There's a number of circle makers who've actually come forward now. Some quite famous ones, So and their designs are amazing. Like I said, I'm on the sort of like I've been helping along with a lot of the nice designs, but I'm not really the one who actually designs these things. There are a lot more sort of people in the forefront of this than I am.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We've got a question, a statement from Wurzel. It says, Matt, you should invite a botanist to explain the natural effects of plants when flattened. And I suppose we could invite somebody on. I mean, we've got Crop Dolly, potentially. I don't know, somebody who's a plant biologist. There's Rupert Sheldrake, who did the experiments years ago. I mean, he's a plant biologist. I wonder whether we could get him on the show. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It'd be lovely. Yeah, it'd be lovely. But I do believe that what I said about the plant biology is actually is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. So, James, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, I mean, I guess for you as well, Matthew. I mean, what I'm picking up when I'm kind of hearing you all talking is there seems to be some kind of, I don't know, resentment about the circle researchers that seem to be kind of driving this kind of move to kind of publicize the fact that circles are man-made, essentially. Is there a resentment, or what's the kind of feeling that's kind of driving this kind of move to publicize the human aspect of circle making, really? Does that make sense?
No, I think we just need to readdress the balance. For so many years, the circle makers have been flouting their absolute rubbish to the people.
Researchers, you mean?
Researchers, sorry.
You said makers.
I said makers, sorry, I beg your pardon. There we go. This is where I trip over all the time.
It's TV.
Should learn how
people
to
under
actually speak
pressure.
English, really, shouldn't I? No, I beg your pardon. Researchers, where they should basically, we're just basically readdressing the balance because they have talked so much rubbish, and they make so much money from it, and it's now the balance has to be readdressed. It's now the circle makers are coming out and they're saying, look, no, enough's enough. You lot have capitalised on this so much that it's enough is enough. People are going to start admitting to circles with fear of prosecution, but in the future you will see this. Enough's enough. We're going to take the power into our own hands, basically, if you like to think of it that way.
Do you think, I mean, obviously circles are kind of appearing all over the place, all over the world. You think of the ones that appeared in Russia the other year that were massive in the Russian media, the Russian kind of defense ministry went out to kind of visit them, all that kind of thing. So there are obviously circle makers all over the world now creating formations.
Can I answer that? I really do have an answer for this, right? Because it's funny because every year, I don't know if have you been down to the Barge Inn in Honey Street?
Once.
Wiltshire, yeah. Now, if you go down there, there's a number of people that come every year every single year you got people from Italy, from Spain, from Czech Republic, from Russia, from all these different countries, yeah, and they come and visit Wiltshire. And then subsequently you see the designs happening in their own countries. They're teams that are coming over here to learn how to make circles.
Which is great, and that's good.
Yeah, this is basically, it's a phenomenon that's actually spreading worldwide now. So it's...
Yeah, I mean, I see a real kind of correlation between the way kind of graffiti art started in New York and went worldwide, and I see the same phenomenon with circle making.
Parallels to that. Yeah, it's exactly the same.
And I think that's, you know, so if you look at the early circles like we're talking about in Australia, the circle nest, you know, that was maybe somebody pre-Doug and Dave who went out, had this idea, did it.
You know what? I've often thought that. I thought, like, well, some two Aussie guys that just spun out a couple of circles and think like they were probably the original designers. You know?
Original guy.
There you go. It's amazing, because I do think there is on record, Doug Bauer or Dave Chorley, I'm not sure who it was, said they got their inspiration from the articles they saw about the circles that were in Australia.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and that, yeah. What about how do you feel about circle makers making money from circles?
If they're commissioned and if they can do it, why not? Crack on. I mean, it's up to them, isn't it? I mean, I'd love to be invited to one of those.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure it's a big check. Yeah.
Well,
there have been occasions where people have taken on a job to show like a TV company or something that crop circles been made, but usually the types of money that is offered is just enough for covering people's time off work, you know, to go and do it and get down there and that sort of stuff. And most of the money is paid to the farmers, you know, so there's usually not a lot of money available out there. Some teams seem to have managed to corner the market, like the guys from London seem to have done some pretty big work. And, you know, we hear sort of figures bandied around that, you know, just like we go, what? You know, and good luck to them. They've sort of taken that on board, and that's their niche. But I think most circle makers have never been able to make any money out of it. Most of the circle makers would like to, and some of them have even expressed this year that if there isn't some sort of change, that they're not going to be taking part, because they feel like they've given enough for such a long time to do it.
In creating circles, you mean?
Sorry?
You mean not taking circle makers, not creating formations? Is that what you're kind of saying?
Well, actually, yeah. I mean, I've been given clearance to say this from one very large circle maker, that he sort of feels that there's nothing really comes back in the way that can help him, you know, and so he's kind of like he's wondering about ways that this could be turned into something that could make some money for the circle makers. But I mean, it's a very controversial area, and
because in some ways, if you're going out making circles, it's not doing it for the money. It's doing it perhaps for the feeling of the fame, the anonymous fame. You know, I see real parallels between graffiti art and circle making. Yeah. It's the same kind of motivations. It's that feeling of anonymous fame, that buzz of seeing your work, but it's got the added bonus of people can project whatever belief they want onto your work.
But you know, I often have to say that there are certain circle makers who are absolutely adamant they are not going to receive any monetary gain from it. They're absolutely adamant on this, and I do know a few people who are like that. So it's a divided issue. You know, I'm a bit of more of a shallow person. So yeah, bring it on.
So do you have any experience?
What about the circle that appeared this week in Indonesia? Have you seen that?
No, not responsible for that one. I don't know. It was there. I'm totally unaware of that. So
apparently so. Yeah. Which goes to show that this phenomenon's spreading, which is good.
Which is interesting, because I have not heard of any Indonesian. But then this is it. One of those things. I've also heard that it's appeared in rice paddies in Japan, in Canada, in the so-called ice circles as well. But I've yet to see the photographic evidence of it. So
yeah. So do you have any experience of making circles yourself or graffiti art? Because it sounds like you're interested in the graffiti angle.
Yeah.
You're not Banksy, are you?
If I was Banksy, I'd be very rich. Yeah. No. I've made circles. Yeah. I've been involved in graffiti, and I see a real parallel between the two things. Yeah. And it's interesting. Yeah. How many circle makers do you think there are in the UK that you know of?
Well, I sort of estimated possibly about 30 that I knew that were working in Wiltshire at one point, but I don't know if that's still the case. Yeah.
A circle maker is anybody that decides to go out and make a circle, so it's not like a
Yeah,
it could just be a random night event, can't it? That somebody goes, well, I want to have a go at that. So.
and also it's a spreading thing, isn't it? Because the people that come to the areas, and then it's because circle makers have been a little bit more open in their activities in certain areas, as in the pubs. And sometimes they need an extra pair of hands, and someone's camping at a certain campsite, mentioning no campsites. But then they get recruited, and then they get the bug, and then they go off and do their own thing. And you start seeing cropsters appearing all over the place, really.
And it's clear, looking at the photos from the last couple of years, there are new people coming on board. There are new teams kind of starting doing it. There's circles that aren't really of a high standard, and those people are going to evolve over the next few years. Hopefully, if people retire, then hopefully this is something that is going to continue and move on, and hopefully there will be people out there who are always believed in that it's aliens or it's whatever it is, because that's the magic that for me I think is I was a believer 1997, 98, I was a full believer. I thought, no way do people make these things, and now clearly they are made by people, but hopefully that magic will still be there for people, because I think it's a really powerful thing for people to kind of experience.
Could we ask, would you be able to tell us anything that you've done, or would you be able to hint at anything you've done? Because it sounds like you're up North way, Yorkshire way, perhaps?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, could be. We're here. We're getting closer. Would you be able to hint at anything that you may know, or would you be a bit shy of that?
I guess clearly, there are circles in Yorkshire, there are circles across the UK that, you people don't know who's made them. I don't know who's made them. And, maybe it should remain like that. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. But you know more than you're saying tonight, obviously. So this is good. This is good. We've got somebody on the line who could be a circle maker. But of course, everybody can say that. They can say that they're a circle maker. But
an MI5 agent, I could be doing disinformation.
Oh, that's what I'm getting paid for, by the way.
Yeah. Are we paying you?
Mark Stone Kennedy, I could be infiltrating this,
Yeah, are we actually paying you any money for tonight?
Unfortunately not, but you can put a check in the post.
Okay, we will.
Yeah.
So, any
nice
last questions, or
no?
cool?
Are we on next week? Is there more on next week? Is it?
The moron is on next week. We'll get a moron just in for you. Yes.
I do believe he's not talking. Well, I hope he's not talking about me. But...
No. We'll find a moron somewhere that makes circles, and we'll bring them on. So, well, thanks very much for your call, and we'll speak to you soon then. So keep in touch, and yes, I think we'll be on next week. We're going to try and stretch this out with as many circle makers as we can, and if we can't get circle makers, we might get some circles researchers in even to talk about their beliefs on this. Yeah. Because we're a friendly bunch. We're not sort of antagonistic, but obviously we've got our side. So we'd be interested to see if we could get some circle researchers in, defend their position.
Definitely.
Could have an on-air fight.
Yeah, it'd be like inviting a pigeon into a lion's den.
Yeah, yeah. I saw this. Hang on a sec. What was I doing? This is quite interesting. If we talk about fights, then we get somebody on the seat, and then I can go like this. And
ow, 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 ow.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong one.
Technical wonder there. Yes. So. I caught that earlier on. I thought that'd be a good bit of fun, wouldn't it? I've also got this one as well, which I haven't used before. It says "Feck arse booze tits girls footage at 5." There you go. There you go. We're very serious on CircleMakersTV. So thanks for your call, and we'll catch you later. So right, anybody on the thing that types words in? Right. Crop Dolly, it would be great to have some of you guys speak at one of the Crop Circle conferences and to be speaking about your spooky experiences.
It'd be nice to get invited in.
I don't think we'll be invited.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice to be allowed to stay in these places when you're actually paid to get in, and sometimes not getting kicked out, which has happened to me in the past. But I mean, I've talked about this. I'd like to get some of the other circle makers involved if they'd like to. So yeah, it would be good. I mean, we did once do a little conference thing. We did in Devices, and we offered it free of charge. You know, circle makers talking about their experiences, and it was put in the local newspaper. And I think we had about 10 people came. 9 of them were circle makers, and the other one was Mary Bennett, was it? And she just sat at the back, and she just was going like that. And
That's what Duracell batteries usually do.
Yeah, in the end, somebody actually said, "Look, will you just shut up? They're trying to talk. You know, if you came to listen to the bloody talk, listen to the bloody talk." But she wasn't very happy. So. But I mean, you know, we did a talk to ourselves. Sadly, you know, the public didn't want to come. This is what made me think that it was either going to be 50-50 whether CirclemakersTV was going to be a success or not. Because, you know, do people really want to hear that it's people? You know,
Sometimes
what do you think,
not.
Dave?
No, I don't think they do. Sometimes sometimes the blatant truth actually hits them in the pan, and they don't really want to look at the truth. I mean, which is, you know, that circles are made by human beings. You know, it's a very, very simple equation. Let's look at it. I mean, the Sistine Chapel. Look at. I illustrated this last week. I mean, I don't have to go there over this little chestnut again. You know, there are amazing works of art all over the planet. Yeah, Petra. You know, in Jordan. Come on, something that's a work of art like that's carved into stone, and you don't think that human beings can actually create something like this overnight? Come on, please have a word with yourselves. Get over it. It's all made by human beings. Stop it.
There's no way it's made by humans, Dave.
Oh, really? You said that. All right, come on in. Bring me here.
Humans can't make these things. We heard it from a scientist who bought his doctorate on the back of a cigarette packet. Yes.
It all goes down to that humans can't make this thing. Just to comment on that, it's the fact that humans like to give human power away to, you know, other things.
Yeah, so we're
not capable of doing that. We built the pyramids, humans, but we're not capable of doing, you know, crop circles and stuff like that. The Hadron Collider, you know, putting man in space and all these other wonderful things that we do. But you can't make a crop.
But it has to be said, I did think that as well, as did you.
Yeah,
I remember you telling me this. I actually remember you reading me one of these things that you wrote about.
I did, yeah.
Circles back in the early days.
Circles, yeah.
Hilarious. I really would like you to bring that in if you could still find that.
No, I don't think there's any.
But it was amazing. It was so well articulated because you are a very good wordsmith. But the thing is about that, I did myself, which is what we all did. That we all went in there, sort of like, oh my god, there's no way it's going to be made by you. Oh, they can.
Yeah, but once you found out the truth,
and it's once
did you dig your heels in and say, no, I've got a belief system to
No,
defend.
I didn't. I had no belief
you
system to
accepted the
defend.
truth.
This is what so many people have invested their belief systems into this ideology, where they cannot backtrack and say, oh, do you know what? I looked at complete bell end. So,
yeah, they come from the ancient land of Bellendia.
Yeah.
Yes, so they are a bell end. Yes.
I went there on holiday once.
Yeah.
It was nice.
So we've got got some questions here. Why do you think it's so hard to convince the public that the circles are man-made? Why is it so hard?
Because it's like trying to drill through a concrete brick wall with another brick wall behind it. It's almost like ego, and which is something which we operate with as well. It has to be said. Yeah, but our ego is from another side of it. But their ego is the fact that they're trying to defend something that they know the blatant truth is there in their face, and they still feel the need because they've invested so much emotion and money, all these sort of things that we did as well. But we had to hold our hands up and say, you know what? They're made by man. You know, and all these things, and the people. The longer it takes, if you're 10 years down the line, and you're still a circle believer, your brick wall was pretty hard.
Yeah.
So there you go. So in a nutshell, it's a metaphor.
Yeah. So, right. Crop Dolly says she's glad to see you're sober tonight, Agent D.
Do you reckon? You know what's in here?
Yeah. Yeah. He's like
That's tea.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. He's like one of those judges, you know, sort of like, yes, I 10 years. Oh, what was your crime? Yes, he's having a little tipple there. No, he's completely sober tonight, and he makes much more sense. What do you reckon? he wasn't going to come on. He wasn't going to come on. He said, "Oh, I've been bad. I've been bad. I was a little bit drunk the other." What were you shouting about, David?
I do apologise. I apologise, Mr. Ike. I mean, but I think that you're, yeah. Anyway, do you know what? Let's not even go there because I think that he is a little bit of a,
Sorry. Yeah, but
he does have a little bit of five knuckle shuffy in him, but still,
Oh, well, yes, it's
people's theories. The people.
It's a show about everyone's opinions, and everyone's entitled to them. So we're not going to hold back on that. If anyone wants to say we're wrong, and anybody wants to put their points of view across, they can.
The thing is, sometimes this sort of stuff that actually spawns these so-called yogurt knitting, spiritual people that actually start talking the most amazing stuff, which you really can't fathom your head over it until you actually start realizing when they're actually going on about the cosmic alignments and the chakras and the this, the that, and everything else. They actually sit back and they think, hang on a minute, you're talking utter bollocks, which is what it is. Because a lot of these people, these people are just like, come on, why don't you come onto a crop circle with us? There's a lot of people we've invited, these researchers. I'm not mentioning one. There's one particular frantic man who has folders and reams of stuff he prints off the internet. We see him every year at the barge inn. He turns up there with his little glasses. He knows who he is. Yeah, and he flatly refuses, because he's such a believer, because he has to defend his position on, no, this is what it is. You know who we're talking about, that guy, and he showed us allegedly these white balls of light flying out of this circle that he filmed, and it actually turned out, if you look closely, they were pigeons. For the love of Christ, come on! It's like, come on, and listen. Anyone who says that one about the Oliver's Castle one, instant crop circle, behave yourselves. No, it's fake. Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, the guy who did that worked for HTV. His name
exactly.
John Wabe, I think his name was. He's a graphic designer, worked for HTV, had the idea, thought it'd be a bit of a giggle, see how people reacted to it. And of course, they took it as real, and they won't have it any other way now. Some people are sort of like, no, that is real, that is real, that is real. The guy works for a TV company. He's a CGI expert. He took you into the studio. National Geographic went in there and saw how this was done, but some people still won't have it. So we've got somebody said, would the circle makers allow some people to come out and make a circle with them? Well, that's really dependent upon the people, and I think you have to meet the circle makers first normally to know whether or not somebody's safe, and that tends to happen in the pub, and you can kind of generally get to know if somebody's a safe person or not. And yeah, if they're prepared to break the law as much as you are, then they're going to get in as much trouble as you are if they go blabbing about it. So they stand the same risk as everybody else. That's how it tends to happen. If people want to get themselves down to the barge or, some of the other pubs in the area and befriend circle makers, then you never know what could happen. But I don't think circle makers are going to advertise exactly where they're making an illegal circle anymore. What do you think? Because they'll just get arrested on the spot. So what do you think to that one?
Or you could do and get the police involved.
Get the police involved, yeah. A bit of extra stomping power. Yeah. What we could do is we get a circle maker on a bike, and we get the police to chase them around the field in a specific design pattern, and the cop car will do the flattening, and the circle maker just lays out the pattern, and yeah, that would be quite funny. What about Silent Circle Cafe was mentioned last week. Did anybody mention that some of us have been kind of booted out and are not allowed to speak there? Would you like to talk about your experiences with Circle's researchers kind of
it was almost a very ironic name, really, because it was very silent when I went in there. I have a very amusing anecdote, but I don't know if my friend wants to elaborate on this, but it's up to him if he wants to. But it was it's because it probably because it's on a sensitive subject. I'll let him talk about it himself. His own experiences in the silent circle.
We're talking
where he was able to offend 16 people at once.
Bob.
I'd rather not talk about that, thank you. Nicely thrown over to me. Thank you.
Go on. You don't want to talk about it?
Nah, I don't think it might be appropriate.
You can't. You suggested something? No.
I just managed to just say the wrong thing to the wrong person and upset the wrong
Well,
person.
people, let's pluralise it.
The
Yeah.
people, yeah. Just
Yeah.
got back, and my intentions were good and noble, but it just
Foot and mouth spring to mind.
Yeah.
yeah, foot in mouth.
Disease.
Enough said.
Yeah, but
I
yeah,
did go into the Silent Circle when it moved up to the White Horse pub in where is it? By Cheryl, not Cheryl, Copton Bassett, when it's moved up there.
Mhm.
I just had a little look around, but I was just intrigued. I was just listening to some of the people who work in there, just talking about nothing to do with crop circles. They were talking about something that I'm into, really. What's going on in the world and stuff like that. And I just thought, God, it's really strange that we've just got something really in common here. But if I was to go over and tell him that I make the crop circles that he's got in his, some of the crop circles, shall I say, then he'd hate me. And I just thought it's a very strange division to pop up just over, patterns in a field that can suddenly turn people against you. There's other people that we know that are exactly like that as well. We've been friends in 1 minute, and as soon as you, speak about your involvement with circle making, they're not your friend anymore. And in fact, they actually hate you. And we've had that quite a few times.
Yes,
and I just
indeed,
find
yeah.
that aspect very
people who
bizarre.
turn on you,
Yeah.
literally on an instant. I think I speak for all of us here. We've had that experience.
Mm.
You certainly have. Yeah, you have. I know you have.
Yeah.
And me certainly.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're ostracised from their own little clique.
Mm.
Because
But just telling the truth.
just telling the truth that you are actually now, and all of a sudden it's like no. There's some people who are actually
Voldemort, he knows
completely
this.
laughable, isn't there? I mean, there's people who literally just say like, "There's no," and it's just like, do you know what? It's. There was one time when we were speaking to. This isn't the barge in. This is another one of these like not so very interesting anecdotes, but still, there was 4 of us in the barge in, and these 4 guys that were actually talking to us, and one had written absolute rubbish about a friend of ours who had recently committed suicide, who was in the Circle fraternity. And he'd written this paper about how the fact he was involved in some higher thing and he was there. And we confronted him with it. And the other 3 guys started to quip up with the most incredible horseshit that you could possibly believe. Yeah. And these guys, and I just turned around to them. I lost my temper. And I didn't hit any one of them. I just turned around and said, do you know what? You guys are just like, and I just held my head and just shook it in frustration because these guys are just... planks of wood. You cannot possibly get through to people like this. It's impossible.
It's a bit sad, really, as well, that somebody would come along and say they didn't know that your friend didn't commit suicide, that he was murdered.
He was murdered.
He was
apparently, yes.
murdered by the
that's a- that's
government.
gone on that,
It's
hasn't it?
like, oh my God, you knew him well then, did you?
Oh,
You
of
know?
course. Sorry, yeah. Sorry, I know you were saying
It's
that.
just the same guy that wrote a certain book called 777.
The 777 formation. Yes, about the Om thing.
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about mentioning names. I mean, it's Andy Buckley.
It is Andy Buckley. Okay.
It's Andy Buckley. He wrote this bloody big pamphlet about.
We also mention that he's a complete bellend.
You could.
And a liar.
He
And
comes from
all
Bellendia.
this.
Yes. It's just amazing the stuff he came out with. And I mean, I apparently work for the government because I had worked for Customs and Excise. So therefore, I'm a government agent. It's like, well, no, I worked for Customs and Excise for 5 years. I didn't like them. They didn't like me. In the end, they sacked me. And that has been talked about quite a lot. And I'm much better off without them. I mean, and it's like, yeah. So he's a government agent because he used to work for the civil service. Right. Great. Wonderful.
Yeah. Moving on swiftly.
Logic like that. Yes. I mean,
Yeah. And as for the other guys, well, I don't know, come on. Seriously, they're like train spotters that need to really seriously get a life.
I mean, Buckley said as well, he passed this booklet out to people and said that they weren't to give us a copy, but we were the main feature of the booklet. So he didn't want to write a reply. He didn't want us to reply back to what he'd written. He just wanted people to pass this around and not give it to us. Do you think that's going to happen? Do you really think that's going to happen, Andy? It came straight back to us within about 5 minutes. Anyway, we've got a question here from Wurzel. Would the crop circle makers make a crop circle if someone else provided a diagram? And if so, could we get the design to you? It's a possibility, isn't it? There's no reason why not. But it would prove that it was definitely man-made, so it would kind of blow it out of the water if people didn't keep it secret. Sorry, Dave.
Sorry, also as well, it has to be said that a lot of the circle designers have so many of their own designs backed up I mean, literally, I know from personal looking through their designs, they have reams and reams and reams of designs that they could possibly put in. So to fit something in of what your own creation, it's best to actually make your own creation rather than ask another circle maker to do it for you, because we have a backup of designs you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, so there's a big catalogue there of stuff, isn't it? But talking about designs, you got one next to you on the chair.
I do, yes.
That
There's
we
something
haven't discussed yet, and
No,
this
we
is
haven't.
one that, yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, it's something that, again, a very good friend of mine, if I can put this up here.
Yeah.
Now, this was made back in 1998. You can actually see the date there, made by him.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one, unfortunately, was shaved out of the field by a very horrible farmer, bastard. Now, this was done in Bishop Canning's as I said, 1998. And it illustrated basically what was going on at the time. It was like, there was a lot of stuff going on in the Middle East. You can see there's like the 5-point star, the Star of David and the crescent moon, which could denote the Muslim faith. A lot of we didn't. The person who made this didn't design it specifically like that, but it was made, and unfortunately, it was shaved out. I do believe there is actually a picture, and this is almost like a plea for anyone who's actually has a picture of this. Please post it on the internet.
Yeah, we didn't get a photo of it, did we?
We did not get, but
shaved out.
I heard there is actually a photograph of this.
Wow.
Circle, so there you go.
If somebody's got a photo of it, we'd love to see it. But yeah,
that's the design. Just about making out there.
Did you? Sorry, I was slightly distracted. Did you mention what the significance of the design was?
Yeah, the Star of David and the crescent moon. Actually, they call it the two faiths coming together.
It's
people
like
perceived it as that.
Yeah,
but it wasn't left in the field long enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you know, the hope was by that it would kind of make people think from these different communities, you know, what about us joining? What about our symbol transposed on top of another culture's symbol? How does that work? Is that going to help for peace? Basically, you know, that was the idea. So, but yes, maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe,
who knows?
Yes, maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe some sort of, you know, cosmic forces wanted people at war, but I don't know why the farmer cut that one out. It's a bit sad. It does happen. Right, this question about white powder. Yeah, there's somebody.
Because I spilled it that night.
White powder.
Oh, do you know? Do you know what they're talking about?
Yeah, I actually lost a lot of white powder that night.
Really? I'm not sure if I've even heard this. I've heard this.
Yeah.
Somebody...
It fell out of my pocket. Cost me like 600 quid.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I'm course.
I was going to say, did you have something and dropped it in a formation?
No.
You are just joking.
Yeah, of course I am. But no, the white powder, I think what they're referring to there is called the white bloom effect, which you get in mornings of the early morning crop circles, which are done in green crop, which they call the bloom effect. So you run your finger along it, yeah, and you actually can taint the actual stalk of the crop circle. I do believe that's what they're talking about. Now, if they're talking about something else, then I can't imagine anyone throwing flour or any other white powder, at least the most expensive one of all,
they're saying
a crop circle.
They're saying no, it's not that. It was spilled all over and all over a swirled bit. So there was a powder.
Yeah, it is possible that there was some flour or something from one of the designers who tried to get a little bit edgy on it. I heard designers actually throwing. There was some other stuff like rocks, ionized rocks or something, iron filings as well. That's it. That's the one.
I think that was a Rob Irving thing, wasn't it?
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Rob Irving decided to sprinkle some iron filings, and it was then said by so-called quotes scientists, who we discussed earlier on, maybe not quite as scientific as they like to say they are, that this was meteoric dust that couldn't have originated on planet Earth. So there you go. That's what have we got? Crop Dolly saying it was on the ground. It looked like fire retardant. Ah, well, there you go then. Perhaps that's what it was. Perhaps BLT got there first. And Crop Solly says it was a plant. So somebody planted this in the crop circle. So we're on about 11 o'clock now, so we're going to wrap it up in a minute. If you've got any last questions that we can put to the Circle Maker and Circle Makers in the room, then we certainly will attempt to do so. I was thinking. Here we are. This is going back to last week. You mentioned about time stretching force fields and things not raining on people. Any experiences like that?
I think the other circle maker in the field was actually present at the time, and he was actually present on that question. So I think I'll refer it to him.
Well,
yeah,
it was. Well, you were there as well. It was
just
just
mentioning no names, but who we shall call Roger.
Roger.
Right.
Who? Me? Or Bob?
Sorry, Bob.
What was the question?
What about these strange things like time stretching force?
Oh, the time stretching. Yeah, that was in.
I wondered if it had applied to Dave because he was there, but you know, you've already talked about them a bit, but
yeah, it's just kind of little phenomena that you notice, like that. One of the ones we're doing, the Star and the Hearts one. Was it the Star and the Hearts one where we had that an electricity storm coming? It's just lightning, no thunder, and above us it was clear, and the lightning was coming from all the way. It was like a bank of cloud all the way around, almost around the whole field. Remember that?
And also the OM as well.
The stretching of time.
Well, it seemed like it is. We were left with an impossible task of actually creating or finishing this crop circle that we'd actually scribed out at the point with this absolutely gargantuan discs, which we literally were not very pleased about doing this. And all of a sudden we seemed to have enough daylight because the daylight. But we did. Sorry, we finished it though. In the end of the day, we did. We managed to create something. But
and the other things are the little coloured sparks that you see jumping off the crop. You know, the little pink and green sparks as you're going around.
Yeah, I saw some of them as well.
And some people have seen shadows of extra team members that are not actually.
Yep.
Shouldn't be present at the time. You do a head count and you can actually see an extra. I haven't seen that for myself, but good friends of mine have.
I've talked a little bit about it on the YouTube channel with the extra shadow figures. I mean, we'll talk about it more again. Okay, one last thing. I noticed on the Crop Circle connector that they were suggesting that it was not a done thing or not right for circle makers to be proud of their work and to sort of proclaim it as being something they're proud of. Yeah, and I said, well, why not?
Sorry,
me personally, I thought, why not?
Why not?
Can't circle makers be proud of their work? I mean, do you want to discuss that? You know, I mean, are we allowed to say that we are happy that we made a circle?
I'm sorry, but yes, why not?
Is it a bad thing for circle makers to kind of revel in the excitement that it creates for other people?
No whatsoever, none whatsoever. And why would you even say that?
This isn't what I'm saying.
No. Why, I'm asking. I'm referring that to the question.
To feel guilty about it after.
No. How about no?
I think it was kind of put across that the original intent of making crop circles was to keep quiet about it.
Was originally, but not now.
Yeah.
Things evolve. Get over it.
The truth is out.
Sorry, the truth is out now. Come on, deal with it. Human beings deal with it. They're made by man. Get over it, please. Stop it.
And what about the fact that if crop circles were created by circle makers who made up the rules, then are the circle makers not allowed to change those rules? I mean, Doug and Dave were the first. Doug and Dave were the first people to come out and say that they'd made them. So
we're the ones who created these things in the first place. Why not?
Yeah. So I mean, Doug and Dave set the standard for sort of talking about this stuff, and
they did. They went public to the Today newspaper back in 91, wasn't it? Project Crow under Colin Andrews and all of that. Project White Crow. Went completely pear-shaped when they hit them straight in the pan, where Doug and Dave made a crop circle right under their nose, commissioned by the Today newspaper.
Yeah.
And somewhat Pat Delgado and Colin Andrews went into the crop circle and proclaimed it as genuine. And that's where the tussle started between the so-called researchers and us.
Yes. But I think Colin's been one of the bravest researchers. I've said this many times, but I'll repeat it on here in case people haven't got my YouTube channel, but he's one of the brave researchers who's actually come forward and said, do you know what? I think these guys are right. They were making more circles than I thought. It's probably the higher percentage, and he's. Do
you know what? He's probably one of the very few researchers, and do you know what? I take my hat off to Colin Andrews because at least his material was a little bit more objective.
Yeah.
than some other people's, because honestly, reading some of the material from some of the circle researchers, like I said, cut out the pretty pictures in their books and burn the text.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a funny one, isn't it? But Colin is definitely liked by a lot of circle makers because he told it the way it was, and it takes a lot of guts to do that because he got a lot of money taken away from him. A lot of his lectures that he was on, he was told he couldn't speak at lecture circuits anymore, and people basically.
And there was
tried
another
to ridicule
researcher
him.
who,
Yeah.
I don't know who, if we should mention, but someone who was funded to come over to England from the United States, who was funded to come and research the crop circles. And when he went back with his research and told them the truth, he had his funding cut. He, again, I don't want to mention any names because it might not be right, but and this guy spent an awful lot of time here to research these things, and instead of going back with the stuff they wanted to hear, he went back with the truth, and he had his funding cut. And he had some amazing footage and stuff from the early days. So,
I mean, is there any surprise then that I mean, if money is attached to telling people it's aliens, and no money is attached to telling the truth, why some people tell people it's aliens? I mean, is there any wonder to that?
Because it's so well ingrained into the crop circle law.
Yeah.
If look at you walk down the street, you talk to anyone, the layman, say, look at this, and they'll mention alien in the sentence, or when they're talking about crop circle. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So right, last comments. We're at 10 past, so we're just about wrapping up the show here. So Crop Dolly says it's the politics of research. And look at the climate lies we've been told as well. So right, they fudged the results in order to get the funding. Yes, because the more exciting it is, the more money you're going to get. And I mean, I've even had an experience where Japanese television asked us to make a UFO. And we thought they were going to tell people on the program that they were doing it for, that this was a man-made UFO and they were just doing it for an experiment. Turns out that after we'd made it, they put it on air and said, no, it was a real UFO. And, so the Japanese audience had to wait 2 or 3 years until they kind of did an expose on themselves, kind of like, revealing that it could have been a set of balloons. And the television companies are guilty of this, as well as employing people like myself to kind of, go and get some helium and some balloons and do that, and then not tell it the way it is. So, this is how myth and folklore starts sometimes.
It's a Santilli video.
Yeah.
What storm it caused across the globe.
Yeah.
Alien autopsy. There you go.
It's very easy to create a subject and have it take its own life and walk off, and then you have no control over it anymore. It's not yours. That's what Crop Circles is all about. So I'd like to thank Dave for coming in, and
thank you very much. Yep.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much. And thanks to the other circle makers who are in the studio, which also doubles as my bedroom. And thanks to you for tuning in. We've had about 39 approximate viewers to the show tonight, and some interesting debate topics raised. Get your questions ready for next week. We are not sure who it's going to be, but we will try and make it as interesting as possible. And if possible, we will be back at 9 o'clock next Wednesday. So thanks very much for tuning in. And as we go, we have to leave with something. So this is what we say about crop circles. you.